Joining us now is an Amazon best-selling author and podcast host in the field of family mental health, Angie Tsounis. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, you have one book out, and now you have a second book out called Different from the Other Kids, Natural Alternatives Edition. Why did you write this book?
Well, my daughter was diagnosed with bipolar disorder probably 4 years ago now, and I had written the original book based on the experience of that and the difficulty that I had in getting any kind of supports. This second book has come about as a result of her liver being under siege as a result of the pharmaceutical medications that she has been on.
Okay, so let's because you are well aware that you are delving into controversial territory, and I just want to make it clear to listeners that might be going right off the top that you're not anti-pharma. You're just wondering if there is an alternative and exploring different options that have anecdotally and in your own experience proven to help.
Exactly right. There are many, many cases, and in some cases they may never have the opportunity to get off the pharmaceutical drugs. And I totally understand that. Mm-hmm. There is a place for it, and we absolutely have to have them. I believe that Christina may not even be here without pharmaceutical interference at certain times, which have been absolutely necessary. But that being said, I do believe that we do need a bit of a smack up the side of the head as far as the amount of pharmaceuticals and the length of time that the heavy pharmaceuticals are being utilized, especially with our children and youth.
And you seem to feel that natural remedies really do get a bad rap.
Oh, yeah, they do. I think there's always this this ridiculous notion that anybody that's going to go into the natural realm of things is a quack, and that you're going to be some kind of a drum circle loving, incense burning, crazy person that isn't to be taken seriously.
Well, as soon as people say something like that to me, I point out that aspirin is made from willow bark. So, a lot of our remedies or pharma remedies come from very natural sources.
Originally they do, yes, but I think it's really the synthetics, and we've come too far away from it. I think we've kind of lost our way as far as introducing some of these pharmaceuticals for such long periods of time with these young people and with people in general. There's so many other options available to us.
Well, you must have done a lot of research, obviously. Mm-hmm. And so what natural alternatives have you tried, and what has the result been for your daughter?
We went on a year study, basically, of trying to get Christina, more than anything else, supplemented with natural alternatives as well as her medication. And we started with a naturopathic practitioner, and that started with diet, a little bit of exercise, but mostly cleaning up diet. We then went to some meditation, some essential oils. We've done some energy healing, fascial stretch therapy, all different kinds of movement therapy that is very, very meditative based. And she has, with a lot of hard work over the last probably 14 months or so, been able to, against everyone's better judgment, wean herself off of all of her medications. So she was on a sleeping pill, she was on an antidepressant, and she was on an antipsychotic drug. Now, that is very unusual. That is not something that I recommend people do. This is a very unusual circumstance, and this was Christina driven.
Is she different from taking the holistic alternatives than she was when she was on pharma, or is the result the same?
She is the same person at heart and in her head. You always knew that she was there. But right now, she is so resilient to her mood swings. She is so resilient to having her moods bounced around. She's just a different person in that she can stabilize herself. She is able to mood regulate on her own.
I think that people's opinions are changing, or certainly among my circle of friends, since we've seen things with marijuana, particularly Charlotte's Web. Even Dr. Sanjay Gupta changed his mind and now does series, on CNN about weed and the wonders of weed. And he was, staunchly against it. But seeing what these things can do, and there's something. Tell us a little bit about what they're calling about infusion therapy. Is that when you get the vitamin C and the niacin, and that's making a huge difference?
That's correct. Yeah, I had an opportunity to speak to somebody that was involved in infusion therapy at one time, and she had spoken to me about this idea of injecting high amounts of niacin and vitamin C specifically into the bloodstream directly, and in which case it bypasses your gut. And in our gut, we can have a lot of things not absolutely absorbed properly. It goes right into the bloodstream, and it is exceptional.
What's it good for?
It's amazing for brain health. The overdose of vitamin C and niacin allows the brain to regulate in a completely different way. It also helps with immune system building, and it has proven to be an exceptional modality for Christina. I actually use it as well myself. Yeah, I do now. Yeah.
You did mention at the beginning that her liver is challenged. So what have you been able to do holistically to heal the liver or start the healing process?
The first thing that had to happen was she had to clean up her diet, which was really challenging. It's still a work in progress. She's only really now been able to get rid of all of the gluten and the whites and all that kind of stuff. But originally it was with the naturopathic doctor giving her some natural supplements to try and lift the liver a little bit up, as well as the infusion therapy, which allowed her to get some of the vitamins and minerals that were necessary for her brain that she wasn't able to absorb. And the diet really started to help. And then when she started to wean herself off her medications, that's when we really started to notice the difference in her liver and in her ability to live her life. The liver was so under siege that she was really only living half a life. She couldn't really, her sleep pattern was all over the place. She would sleep till 3 o'clock in the afternoon and then be very frustrated with it, because it wasn't that she wasn't mentally able to, and it wasn't that she wasn't mentally capable of doing it. It was that her body was so under siege that it just wasn't reacting properly to real life.
Well, you wrote this book for other parents.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what would you tell those parents who may be people who are a little bit scared to go outside of the traditional boundary?
I would love to be able to tell them to just give it a try. I've got a friend of mine who will always be on medication, I'm quite confident, who just recently came to me in a bit of a mental health situation. And I just basically said, just add in a couple of these modalities, add in some meditation, add in maybe the thought of going to a naturopathic doctor, add in some stretch therapy, add in Tai Chi, add in Qigong. These are all things that we can find on the internet, other than the naturopathic doctor, of course, that can really enhance the lives of those that have a hard time with this.
Okay, again, the book is called Different from the Other Kids, the Natural Alternatives Edition. Where do people get it?
You can get it on Amazon right now. And you can actually listen to a podcast that I've been doing. I'm 54 episodes into that. And you can get that at iTunes. Just type in Different from the Other Kids. You can also go to player.fm and download from there.
All right. And we'll put up all our links on our website and on YouTube. That's all at What She Said Talk. Now you've probably got enough links to last you for the day.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, fascinating. Fascinating. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And good luck with everything you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We'll be right back here on The Jewel.